What's up, Scrappy peeps? It's Del from Inky Quill, and it's time for a Grab 5 challenge. Now, Grab 5 is something that I created, if you're new to my channel, where I grab 5 things from my stash and I have to use them in a layout or a page or a project or something. So I've grabbed these glitter thickers, which look, to be honest with you, I have struggled with them greatly. I think it's because they're so glittery and not gold. I find it a lot easier to use gold glittery bits. I've got some wood buttons. I've got 2 of the new Dylusions colours, the periwinkle blue and the purpley one, and I've also got 2 of these tags. Now these tags actually are the originals, and then I scan them in and use them for some of my Patreon printables. So if you haven't checked out my Patreon, little plug there, make sure you head over to Patreon/Inky Quill. It's the links in the description below. And I've got a roller date stamp, so let's see if I can come up with something. Now I have to finish these wedding albums by the end of the year. They are driving me crazy. I have gone I've gone away from the 12 by 12 size just because I find it easier to store the smaller 9 by 12 albums. And so I did struggle a little bit with this. Now I decided to substitute the paints for the inks. So technically I'm kind of cheating, but I just was a little bit stuck in a rut. I really was stuck in a rut at this point. I think because switching between the 9 by 12 and the 12 by 12 isn't really easy. It's easy for me to switch between 9 by 12 and 6 by 12 or 8.5 by 11 because they're rectangles. But to change from a rectangle to a square composition, it kind of throws my mind out a little bit. So I decided to go for the Miss this time because I felt a bit more comfortable with them, which I know is completely ignoring the Grab 5 principle, but I cheated a little bit, it's okay. So I made this little nice watercolory background, and I'm using some paper towel just to get up that extra liquid. A, because it makes a nice pattern, and B, because it helps with drying time, and I'm a little bit lazy. So then I grabbed some water droplets. You've seen me do this a million times before if you're an old Inky Quiller, and it creates a really nice like bleached out effect because the ink reacts to the water. So now it's time to figure out where I want to put my photos. Now these are basically the same photo, but they're different. And of course, being the silly person that I am, printed every single photo from our wedding. I think it ended up as about 600 photos, I think, maybe. And alas, why I have 6 wedding albums for one day. But I kind of do like it with the repeated image. I've done layouts like that before where I do the same image and kind of repeat it, or make one black and white and one color, and I do like the effect. So I decided to cut one as square. Oh, Little Beans is awake. And I'm back. I think he just had a nightmare because when I went back in there, he was asleep in a different spot. So I'm very excited. I don't know what I was talking about before. I got distracted. I'm very excited because I think this week I have my first proper Inky Quill work day without little Mr. Moo. For about, I think we're going on like 7 weeks now. I haven't had a work day. Usually little Archie goes to my parents 2 days a week so that I can do voiceovers like this, not get interrupted, and also just have a few hours to actually create, because I think I've said before that I'm not someone who can walk away from a layout and then come back and finish it. I struggle greatly with that. So it's really handy that my parents are retired, and I'm an only child, and so that they have a little bit of spare time that they can take Archie for a few hours so that I can get some stuff done. So that's coming up on Monday. So please let me know in the comments below what you would like to see more of, what particular sizes. Would you like to see certain mixed media? Would you like to see layouts without mixed media, more project life? What would you like to see? And same with my second channel, which I have. If you don't know, I have a second channel. It's called Let's Get Inky. Link's always in the description below. And I do like arty videos over there. I have a planner. I found Planner Piece, and I have a video to film about that, which I'm very excited about. And I think it may also have a giveaway attached to it, so stay tuned for that. So here I decided to get a bit doodly, and in the end I do like it, but it's just different. I'm not used to it. So I think I had been, just before this, I'd been doing some doodles for my Patreon printables, and I was still in that mood of just making little cute, intricate little drawings. So I decided to do these little leafy fronds, I guess you could say, and which I'm a big fan of. I love a nice leafy frond, and I just put them a little bit everywhere. Now, in the end, this layout is quite different for me. I think it's a combination of the little doodles, the little the turquoisey aqua, it's aqua, glittery title. I do. It's different. I like it. It's just different. So here I am actually using the paints. I actually made this layout about 2 months ago before we moved house. I did, while I had the work days, I did film ahead quite a few videos, and I'm only just now getting the time to record some voiceovers because we've just had a bit of hecticness. We really have had a hectic last 2 months, but we're back on track. This is our second weekend at home in the new house. We have been moved in for 5 weeks, but it's our second weekend at home, and I think it's just helping us relax a bit. So I'm using a little like makeup sponge to do these hearts, and I think this stencil is a Flutterby Designs one, if I'm guessing correctly. I think it is. I'm thinking of doing a little, I need a bit of a motivation to finish this wedding album. There's 6 albums altogether, and then there's 6 albums altogether, and I think there's only 2 that have things still to do in them. Distraction number 2, sorry about that. Aaron called. He's out the front with my dad trimming trees, and they're ready to have a little bit of a look at to see if I want any more trees trimmed. But yeah, so this wedding album is epic. It's ongoing. There may only be like 3 layouts, if that. The rest of them are pocket pages, so I should be able to get it done in an afternoon. I just need some motivation. So I'm thinking of filming an epic long working in my wedding album video for Patreon, which is where I'll do some flip throughs as well, because I just need to get it done. Let me know in the comments below, what project do you have that just keeps going on, and you just want to get it finished? You need to see the back of it. I love these pictures, but I am sick of these pictures, very much so. So I'm adding those tags and a few little wood buttons. And with the wood buttons, they come with a really thick foamy piece, which I like to take off and just use some glue, because it just adds extra dimension that you don't actually really need. So I'm seeing what else do I have to add, and I think I come back with a few little embellishments and pieces in a moment. So I decided to use the purples today because, as I've said, purple is the Voldemort of the scrapbooking world. It is a colour that does not get named, it does not get used, it's the banished colour, and I don't really know why. Purple's a lovely colour. It's pink's best friend. It's quite a nice colour, and so it's not one of my faves, but I think it's nice sometimes to try and challenge yourself to use a colour that you do like, but let's not go as far as doing an entire green layout, Adele, but a colour that you like but you just don't usually reach for. So here's my challenge for you, scrappy peeps. I want to challenge you to do a grab 5 challenge yourself. Pick any 5 things from your stash. They could be new, they could be old, they could be half used, they could be whatever you like, and include a colour, either a coloured paper or a mixed media piece, if you're someone who uses mixed media, that isn't your immediate go-to. So for me, obviously my go-tos are the pinks, the blues, corals, those kinds of tones. Purple is not one of them, but I like it. So challenge yourself to use a color that you appreciate but you don't reach for all the time. And I'd love to share your layouts with me over on my Facebook group, Scrapaholics Anonymous. Now, there are quite a few. I realized the other day, since we created Scrapaholics Anonymous, a few other groups have popped up with the same name. We have over 15,000 members, so have a look for that group. That's how you'll tell which one it is. So now I'm just adding some roller stamping down the bottom here, a few little bits, some bobs everywhere. And I like to do this ghosting roller stamps. It is my go-to technique at the moment. This is quite a busy layout, and I got to this point and I was like, oh, do I really need roller stamps? And I was like, Adele, just go for it. Make it messy, make it everywhere. But to calm it down a little bit, I do believe I do a doodly border, and I find that this helps when you've got a layout that's got a lot of bits and pieces. So this one has the 2 photos, it has the big bold title, it has these tags that kind of look like they're about to slip off the side of the page, it's got the little heart stencils that also look like they're trickling off the page. I find that it's helpful to do a doodly border kind of just to rein it all in and calm it down a little bit, because sometimes the layouts get a little bit crazy. So here I'm just doing a little bit of journaling in some of my Scripty font, which I'm trying to figure out how to teach the Scripty font. It's something that is also puzzling me, but I'm working on it, guys. Little bit of Hardy Shine, shake, shake, shake. You know, I love my Hardy Shine. Someone asked me the other day what other colors I love. I love the navy. I also love the hot pink. And then there's is it teal? I think it's teal. They're my 4 favorites. Oh, and tinsel. Tinsel's quite nice as well. It's like a gunmetal grey. And the layout is all finished. So I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed seeing some 12 by 12 back again. And I will see you all very, very soon in another video. I post them Wednesdays and Saturdays at 7 a.m. AEST, Australian Eastern Standard Time, unless there's a computer error and something doesn't go right. But I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye!